Hello guys, my name is Anna and I'm from Ukraine, and I have decided to vlog daily since the start of this awful war with Russia. So on my channel I try to update you on important real-life situations in Ukraine and also to answer your questions concerning our history, culture, language or whatever interests you. So if you're new to the channel, do subscribe because we were hidden behind the Iron Curtain for so long. Many started doubt there is no great difference between Russia and Ukraine, but now the world sees it clearly. To follow my videos and to witness our victory, do subscribe. And today I want to speak about one event that recently took place in Russia, but I think it is worth discussing because it demonstrates one of the core symptoms of the illness of Russian society. And that is their love, their need to rewrite history. Well, our countries are different, our nations are different. If we are old, and Ukraine is an old country, our independence in 1991, it is not a new independence, it is a renewal of old independence, because we were known for thousands of years, same as Kyiv, Kyiv Rus, Kozaki, and I'm sure there are other examples that can illustrate you our long history. But looking back into your own national history, you will find lots of positive things and lots of negative things, and I think it is wrong to rewrite the history. Recently I've been reading one book about the books that I like a lot of the Spanish author, and there she says that there is nothing more stupid than applying plastic surgery on history. And I totally agree with her. We have to understand and to realize events based on the time they took place, not from the perspective of a modern person. But also we have to be able to embrace our mistakes and our victories. And Ukrainians feel totally natural with their history, understanding their weaknesses, understanding their strengths, and telling the more or less realistic narrative of what Ukraine is, how it developed from the time of Kyiv Rus into a Cossack state, and then into Ukrainian People's Republic, then occupied by Soviet Union, then getting back its independence in 1991. But it is all like when you're not lying about your history, it is always very logical. One event explains the next event and everything seems fine. But Russia, which is always a dark and depressive place, which is actually the continuation of Moscow Empire, Moscowite Tsardom, that was greatly influenced by Tatar-Mongol hordes and now resembles much this hierarchical horde-style organization with lots of this subordinate traditions, contrary to European spirit, freedom spirit of Ukraine. At a certain period of time, Moscow decided it wants to steal our history. So it all began with the reshaping of Kyiv Rus period and trying to demonstrate that Moscow is an old city, like older than Kyiv, or that Kyiv Rus is actually Russia, which is totally wrong. First of all, the word Russia appeared not that long. It was Moscovia for centuries. And secondly, Kyiv Rus, Kyiv Rus. The heart of Rus was Kyiv. Okay, anyway, there were lots of princes that were important, for example, baptizing Ukraine, Kyiv Rus and all these territories, and other. And they were trying to depict them as Russians, which is weird because we all know that thousands of years ago, nations and countries were a little bit different. When you think about the US 1,000 years ago, or the UK 1,000 years ago, or even Germany. But they depicted everything in their own chauvinistic manner, like Moscow has always been the center of the world, Ukraine has always been its periphery. And actually many people believe that narrative. That was difficult, especially in 2014 when this war began. And for many it was difficult to understand what's going on. What is that? A rebellious part of Russia. Now you see how different we are from this civilizational point of view. But now Russia demonstrates serious signs of failure when it starts rewriting its school books, manuals. Recently, I have come across this information all over the internet. Also, some of you sent me emails with the articles, which are true. Russian Ministry of Education decided to rewrite history books, and they excluded the word Kyiv from their books. And also Kyiv Rus is now just Rus, because of course Kyiv is a forbidden word. They should have taken it in 3 days, and now they didn't. They cannot mention it. They have to pretend Kyiv does not exist, you know. If it does not exist in Russian books, then it does not exist at all. That's how they see reality. That's why they are so brutal and they ignore everything in the world, because they believe that if they say so, it is so. But we pretty well see no. And also they, for example, mention Prince Volodymyr, who is one of the central princes, or as we call them in Ukraine, Knyaz Kyiv Rus, who baptized Kyiv Rus. And it all started in Kyiv, because Moscow did not exist at that moment. But in their books, they have invented saying that Volodymyr baptized Rus from the old capital. Like not naming Kyiv, saying old capital. And tell me please, what is that if not a sign of failure? And asked for explanation, the representative of the Ministry of Education said that yes, we have decided to rewrite these books for the 4th form, 6th form for young children. We have decided to rewrite these books because of these recent events. Not naming them, like, and I guess these recent events are actually war in Ukraine and failures of Russian special military operation during war in Ukraine. So all of this looks really, really, really funny, but at the same time tragic, because think about these generations of Russian children and students who are already spoiled, first of all, by this Z military propaganda, secondly, by the rewritten history. And living in this Orwellian society must be very traumatizing, but I'm not sure we can cure them. Why? Because I don't see like the instruments. Plus, modern society is very tolerant, too tolerant. If we think about Nazi Germany, we know that after the end of the Second World War, German society was introduced to lots of its crimes, and today we have a very democratic, very beautiful country of Germany, where I think any of these things are impossible. But with Russia, people are so much afraid to point their crimes, to point their bloody regime. So I don't know, how can we educate them? Because, you know, sometimes education, being a teacher, I can tell you, it has some pressure in it. Of course, we have to be kind with students, but at the same time, we cannot tell them, like, do whatever you want. If you don't want to read, you feel tired, don't. If you don't want to write, don't. Like, there are some things that you have to make an effort on, you know? Every day. That's what I do. That's what all of you do, like to continue, like, I don't know, growing up, becoming cleverer, earning money, eating food. You have to do something, and we have to do something to change Russia, and we have to start actually. And what I want to say in the end of this video, I think that this failure of Russia as a state, as a country, as a nation, is actually hidden in this desire to rewrite the history. In Soviet time, with the machine of censorship, they were able to rewrite this history. They were able to make the world believe this is the real history. They Russified millions of other peoples, like not millions, perhaps millions of other people, but dozens of other countries that were a part of Soviet Union, including Ukraine. And many of these people started believing in this Russian narrative, Russian vision of history. But what they have forgotten, and that is an extremely important issue, that by stealing the history, you cannot steal the qualities that a nation possesses to build this history, to build this presence. And when they steal our Kyiv Rus history, for example, they do not become the people we are. Because to build Kyiv Rus, to be Cossacks, to be fighters for freedom as we are now, you have to be us. You have to possess our qualities. You have to value freedom. You have to be strong. You have to be persistent. And they are not. They are a totally different population. I'm not going to use the word society because, as Vlad Vexler says, not yet. There is no society in Russia, only population right now. So, by stealing history, you cannot steal the qualities that are needed to build this history. And that's why we will win this war, and they are losing, already losing. Thank you so much for your support, and today I invite you for a very good volunteer initiative that is organized by In Time Show channel, where Operator Starsky will be the shields, and I will join them approximately at 9 p.m. tonight to collect some money for the needs of the Ukrainian armed forces. So if you have time, follow the link that I will leave below this video and join us. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons. Subscribe to my Instagram and Twitter to see more updates. Thank you so much for your support, and Slava Ukraini!